And here's Qasim. Thank you so much. We are waiting for Qasim to come. Till then, we can listen to Dolittle. Hello, Qasim.
Hey, Okas, how's it going, brother?
Everything is going good. I was just so worried. I thought that, where are you?
Hey, listen, we're on opposite sides of the world. Sometimes things happen, things go a little here, a little there. It's my 2 p.m., it's your 11 p.m. So,
Ah,
uh,
it's my 11 p.m. to 2 p.m.
yeah, you're 9 hours ahead of me. And
9 hours ahead. I
yeah,
actually couldn't get the time difference. मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही थी, like, what's that thing? तुम लोग पीछे हो, आगे हो, like, I didn't get it.
time zones, my friend. Canada's so big. People in Vancouver,
Yeah.
they're actually 3 hours behind as well. Even though you're in Canada, you're in the same country, it's a different time. They're 3 hours behind. So over there it would be
Yeah,
11 a.m.
that much I know. That much I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So how are you, Qasim? How's everything going? Like, how's your quarantine life going? Is it quarantine or not?
Yeah, I'm in quarantine over here. Not completely because uh, veterinary veterinary hospitals are still open. They're considered an essential
Yeah.
business. Um,
Okay,
so
it is
uh,
essential business actually.
yeah, so our hospital's still open. People have pets. They bring in their pets, and
Because people were actually waiting for you. They had a lot of questions, and you're 20 minutes late. So I guess they have disappeared.
yeah, I apologize.
That's perfectly fine.
I've never been good with time, unfortunately.
How is Gambit, by the way?
Gambit's good. That's the reason I was late. I wanted to make sure that the star of the show, the star of the interview could be here. That was the main reason why. Hey, buddy.
Where is Gambit, by the way?
Gambit, say hi. Hey, Gambit, say hi. All right.
Hello, Gambit.
Here's our
Gambit.
little pup. This is
So
Gambit.
Gambit.
He was actually
Oh,
born in
Gambit is
Faisalabad.
so cute.
He was born in Faisalabad, and I made sure that when I came back to Canada, I brought him with me. Right?
Okay, so you bought him. You brought him here from Faisalabad.
Yes, I got him when I was in my third year of veterinary school, and he's my little piece of Pakistan.
Okay. And Qasim, people actually want to know what you were doing there in Faisalabad.
I was in a veterinary school, University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, batch
Yeah,
2010, and that's where I met
yeah.
you.
What are you doing there?
What was I doing there? Um, Nothing. I was getting re-acclimatized to the Pakistani culture.
So how was it? How was the experience?
Um, it was definitely an interesting experience, for sure. My Urdu wasn't very good before I went, that's for sure. Neither was my Punjabi, so I had an opportunity to learn both languages, and
Yeah.
it was definitely a very neat
So
experience,
why did
for
you
sure.
particularly select our university? Why did you particularly select University of Faisalabad for your studies?
Uh, you could say fate. My mother, she was actually she used to be a professor there at that university.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she taught in the CMS department, or clinical medical surgery department, and she
All
left
right.
when I was very young, when I was maybe 1 or 2 years old, to come to Canada. And
Okay.
so we had some links with the university. I knew it was a very good university. It was a
Okay.
good program. It was a university recognized, their veterinary program. So Canada would recognize the degree. Um, and also just to be close to home. I was living with my chachu at the time, and my
Yeah.
chachu's right
You
there in
told me that.
Faisalabad. So yeah, it was easy. I could be at home, but also go to the university, and everything was in
That is
English.
actually good.
Luckily,
That is actually good. What?
I said luckily, everything was in English. Most lectures were in English. Some were in Punjabi, unfortunately, so I couldn't understand much.
Yeah,
but
we are very diverse people, actually. We're very diverse people. You can see the
yeah,
diversity here and here.
yeah. No, I
Very
like what you've done with the
diverse.
set. I like what you've done with the set. Looks good.
Thank you. And Kasim, like, why did you name this dog Gambit? Like, does he throw cards like Gambit? The flaming
Uh,
cards?
I wish, but growing up, I was a big fan of Marvel, big fan of X-Men. So, um, yeah, Gambit always seemed like a bit of a wild card, you know, like you don't. He's a little unpredictable, and same with my dog.
Yeah, he is unpredictable. And so
German,
is this Gambit.
yeah, German Shepherds especially, their breed with different dogs. It also
Yeah.
depends on the breeds, and these German Shepherds they're more unpredictable than other dogs. That's for sure.
So, Kasim, like, basically the situation which is being, like, which is prevailed these days, that Corona situation, COVID-19,
Absolutely.
people are actually talking about that animals can get that thing, animals can get that virus. Is that true? Because you are a veterinarian, that's why I'm
Hmm.
asking.
Yeah. So this coronavirus, um, cats and dogs they can get a type of corona, not specifically COVID-19, this strain of
Okay.
virus, but we've had instances reported. There was And you can take the research for what it's worth, but we had a case in Hong Kong with the dog that had corona, I believe. There was another one in the New York Pet Zoo where a lion, I believe, tested positive.
Yeah, a lion was tested, and in America, lots of cats are
Two
being tested
cats,
with corona
two
as well.
house cats were also
Yeah.
tested, and they had it. So, um, from my understanding, is the cats were carriers. So
Cats are the carriers, not the dogs.
no, the cats can be carriers, but it's unclear whether or not they can give it to us. For example, the
Okay.
tiger at the zoo, he didn't have corona. He was given corona by the person feeding him, not the other way around.
Okay.
So it's unclear this relationship whether it's just a one way or two way. If we can give it to them or if
So
we can get it for them or both. That this part is still unclear.
okay, so like if the animals get corona from somewhere, do they have some kind of symptoms too?
Now, see, that's what I read about the tiger. The tiger apparently he didn't have. Apparently he had a cough, but I don't know. It's so much new
Okay.
information comes out literally every
Yeah,
day.
as far as this situation is concerned, the information is coming every day, and it's new, and most of it is just hypothesis, I guess. It's not even confirmed.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. No one really knows because this is a new virus we're dealing with. So,
Okay. Qasim, I want to ask you that what makes you a good veterinarian?
what makes me a good veterinarian?
Like, why do you
Um,
think this profession is good for you, or why did you opt for it? Because you opt for it yourself, right? And
uh,
that's why I want to ask you, what makes you a good veterinarian?
well, I think I don't want to. I wouldn't personally want to call myself a good veterinarian. I think I strive to be. I strive to be a good veterinarian, and I think anytime you want to strive to be better at something, it stems from how much time, how much effort you're willing to put into it, and also your passion. If you're passionate about that thing, passion can carry you a long way for sure. So I'd say I'm definitely very
For
passionate
sure.
about.
And I actually introduced you to the people as Dr. Dolittle, and
Hmm.
I said that he loves animals because like
Yeah.
there are lots of pictures with animals. People are asking me, ask him to bring all of his animals, and I was like, he doesn't have all the animals, he just have Gambit.
Now there's some. I'm actually at the hospital right now. We have some kittens. If anyone wanted to see any kittens, I
Oh,
can make that happen. But just cats and dogs, mostly.
oh, you
And
don't have snakes and reptiles?
no, I can, but my mother as well. She opts. She doesn't. She just sticks to cats and dogs. Stick to what you know. But yeah, snakes, reptiles.
Human friendly animals for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And Kasim, what do you think a veterinarian's role in a community?
In the community, this is quite a role. I mean, as veterinarians, we took an oath to protect animals. Um, And
Okay.
depending on, I guess, depending on where you are, for example, in Pakistan, you look at like the agricultural importance, the economic importance of animals, right? Everyone, these farms, uh, they play such a large role in terms of dairy and milk and so many other
Yes, they do.
things. And
But
veterinarians
I
are,
don't think they actually pay that much attention to their care and to their catering.
sorry?
I don't think they pay that much attention to their personal care.
Unfortunately, they don't, and that's why you see there's some deficiencies in our production in Pakistan. With our
Yes.
potential, they have the ability to produce so much more if they're willing to,
Mm.
invest the proper time. I think you look at these slaughterhouses, in Pakistan, people cut corners with meat. There's some contaminated meat. You've heard like,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy stories coming out of
Yes, you're
Faisalabad,
right.
right? So it's part of the responsibilities on the veterinarians to see, to be ethically and morally ready to see this, to identify and stop it if they see any malpractices that are going on, because we know in poverty brings out the worst in people. So people try and cut
Mm.
corners, and yeah, it's unfortunate.
So, Qasim, you said that you took oath to protect animals, and that's
Absolutely.
what every veterinarian must do. And
Yep.
apart from that, humans also do that. They take that oath to protect humans.
Yep.
So, what do you think about euthanasia?
With animals,
Yeah,
that is probably the hardest part of the job. That's a very good question. It's by far the hardest part of the job, because an animal can't communicate with you, hey, I'm on my last breath, I can't live anymore,
yeah,
pull the plug, right? Uh, you have to make the call, and it's tough, man. It's tough. I remember my first euthanasia. I cried like a baby. They had the dog. He wasn't doing very well, unfortunately. But um, you know, the parents, I mean, they couldn't afford the treatment. It wasn't a simple treatment. It was gonna take lots of time. It was gonna take lots of
yeah.
diagnostic tests. It was gonna take, but they couldn't afford it at the end of the day. So if they can't provide for the pet, you have to make the call to let the pet go. And I just remember it was very, very hard. But there's lots of factors you have to look at, and one of those is the quality of life. Is the animal suffering?
Yes.
And if the animal's suffering, if literally unable to take a breath, then you need to
Mm.
do what's right for the animal as well. And that's the definition of
Exactly.
euthanasia is a humane death. Humane, so meaning free of pain.
Mm.
And when we perform euthanasia, we sedate them. We make sure they go slowly. We essentially put them to sleep. That's what euthanasia is. You remove the oxygen.
Mm.
They're unable to take that breath. So it's not like they're suffocating, trying to go on. When they're ready to go, they just sleep, and they're gone. And it's definitely it's by far the hardest part of the job, for sure.
It is. It actually is. And that's why, like, I didn't have that question in my mind, but it just suddenly popped up, and I just blurted out. कि ठीक है, पूछ लूं. Okay, the next question that is related to you and Gambit.
All right, all right.
Firstly, how do you define your relationship with Gambit? Like, how important is, like, I know he was in Faisalabad and you brought him all the way here in Canada. So
Yeah.
how do you define that relationship? Because that is a very beautiful relationship. Like, if we talk about the animals and their relationship with their owners,
Hmm.
people usually don't get that.
No,
In
they don't.
Pakistan, people are starting to,
Yeah.
yeah. And when I see you, even I once talked to you about that. You take care of your pet like a father take care of his son.
Yeah.
So in Pakistan, usually people don't get that relationship. So how would you like to define that relationship between you and Gambit, who doesn't throw cards?
uh Man, it's there's definitely a bond. There was a course
Yeah.
in veterinary school where we learned, I think it was an animal welfare course, and people will actually be surprised. There's so
Okay.
many laws and welfare laws in place in Pakistan to protect animals. There's
There
laws.
are, but they're not
Like
being
you are not
implemented because
supposed
when it
to
comes to
overload,
animals,
right? like even like a ready, you're not supposed to overload it for the donkey. It should not be overloaded past the capacity that the donkey. And there's fines. There's 300, 400, 500 rupee fines for breaking these laws, but they're not enforced, right? And it goes back to what you're
No,
saying.
they're not enforced. They're not
There's
enforced.
at the end of the day, the root is
And you know,
compassion.
like, it actually surprised me when you said that you actually took a course with Gambit.
No, 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 I meant like in a veterinary school. One of the courses,
Okay.
animal welfare, if they talked about a human animal bond.
Oh, that course. I thought
Yeah,
you actually took some kind of a training for
no,
Gambit.
I should have. I should have. Unfortunately, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't.
Because
But
I didn't know that. Because when it comes to animals in Pakistan, people usually don't pay that much attention. And Gambit is so cozy right now. What's the
yeah,
temperature out there?
temperature, it's like 2 to 3 degrees, 2 or 3,
Oh, 2 and 3 degrees. Okay.
2 or 3 right now. Yeah,
It's
it's still
cold.
chilly. It's still cold. It's for late April. This is very cold weather.
Okay. Uh, Qasim, how do you deal with good and bad behavior of Gambit? Because like every natural being, living being, he must have behavioral changes. So how do you deal with good and bad behaviors?
Okay. This is
Because when it comes to good behaviors, he might get very excited and he get very clingy, or he might get, like very excited. But
mhm.
when it comes to bad behavior, he might attack you maybe
See
or
now
run
here.
away.
No, I personally, I never have to worry about him attacking or biting me. I have to worry about him attacking or
Okay.
biting somebody else because he's extremely
Okay.
protective. He's extremely protective over me. So if
I'm not taking him away from you, Gambit. He's just a guest. He's yours.
he's if a stranger approaches me and he doesn't know that stranger, he's immediately gonna be, okay, I don't know you. Are you a threat to my owner? You know, so that's the toughest part with him because again, he's unpredictable. He's a German Shepherd, and um, honestly, it's like parenting. You know,
Your video is distorted.
can you hear me now?
Uh, your video is distorted. Like I cannot properly see you. You're moving, but you're just there's intermittent movement of yours in the picture, in the video.
All right, let me try to fix
I guess Gambit ruined it.
this. Yeah, now we've lost connection.
Now I can hear you.
You can hear me,
That's
you just
actually
can't
good.
see me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can't see me?
Yeah, I can see you
Okay, are we still distorted?
somehow.
Am I coming in clear? Am I
You're
good?
just coming. That's perfectly fine.
All right.
That's good.
All right, sorry about that. All right, what was our question?
Yeah, the question was that like how do you deal with his good and the bad
Good and bad
behaviors?
behavior, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't deal with it the best. I learn on the go. I learn on the go because with dogs there's positive reinforcement, there's negative reinforcement. If he does something bad, you're supposed to negative tell him no, bad boy, bad, bad, bad. Make sure he knows what I did was bad. Make sure it really sinks in his head. And when he does something good, give him a treat. Positive reinforcement. So all these things they need to be reinforced at a very young age. Just like with parenting, it's very good practice. If anyone wants to practice child, get a pet, get a dog. I promise you. All right. It's a great practice run
That
for
means
you.
you're going to be a very good parent one day.
I don't know about a good parent, but certainly I have some
Your
experience
parent,
raising this
yeah, you have experience
four-legged
and
child.
your parenting practices are really, really good. Like people know about your parenting practices when it comes to Gambit. Like he just turned 7 years, right?
Yeah, he just turned 7 years old.
Happy birthday, Gambit. If you can hear me, just don't distort the connection again.
Funny story, he was actually born on Valentine's Day. Yeah, February
Okay, he was born
14th.
on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, February
He is the
14th.
food of love.
Exactly.
All right. So thank you so much, Qasim, for giving me your time, for giving me all the advices about that COVID-19 stuff and the situation, and about your bond with Gambit. I hope it was helpful because I'll be posting this on Instagram, and I hope people will like it. Because this was an unusual segment for me. Because when it comes to relationships, people don't realize that they have a very special bond with their animals too.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring someone who actually has that bond, and you are professionally and personally bonded to the animals. So I thought you were the right person, and you were very difficult to reach.
Listen, thank you so much for having me on your show. I appreciate it. I've been watching your segments. They look like a lot of fun. So I definitely I wanted to partake. I'm a little camera shy, but for you, I made sure I was here. I was a little late, but
Thank you, Gambit, and thank you, Qasim. You guys actually did pretty good. Gambit, you are awesome. And what is he biting on? Football?
uh, this was his latest birthday present. Uh,
Okay,
that's a ball.
right.
Yeah.
It is actually good. And thank you so much, Qasim. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And if I have some questions, I might call you again. I just hope you're accessible.
You're very, very welcome. And if you require my services again, I'll be there and I'll be there on time. I promise you.
Thank you so much, Qasim. Bye.
My brother, take care.
Oh, there's one more thing, one more thing, one more thing, one more thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that festival we have to go to?
Toronto Music Festival, okay. Film Festival, I won't
No,
forget.
that's Toronto Film Festival.
Yeah, the film festival.
Yes. And what are we going to have?
We're gonna have poutine, and it's gonna be amazing.
Poutine! Yes! I want to have poutine. Like, I'm dying to have poutine at that festival because I want to have a lot of poutine.
No, no, this is gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna come to Canada. Okay, वो आपका काम है और बाकी
Inshallah.
रेड कारपेट
We
पे
will go to
वो
Toronto Film
पहुंचना
Festival
मेरा काम
together. That's our pact. Love your dog. We got a message.
है. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you so much, Qasim. And we might be inviting you again. Just appear. Just come to our show again. Okay?
Okay, gladly, gladly,
Bye.
anytime, anytime. Okay, say bye, buddy.
Thank you. Bye, Gambit.